B. Shyam Sunder, December 21, 1908, May 19, 1975, was born in Aurangabad district in Maharashtra state, India. His father was B. Manikam, a railway employee, and his mother Sudhabayan had one younger sister. He was a political thinker, jurist, prolific writer, parliamentarian and a revolutionary leader. In 1937, he founded the Dalit Muslim Unity Movement at Parbhani in Aurangabad, Maharashtra and urged his people to join hands with Muslims. He was a legislator representing Andhra Pradesh and Mysore state. In 1956, he established the All India Federal Association of Minorities at Hyderabad and finally organized a movement for Bahuyans in 1968 at Lucknow district in Uttar Pradesh state and formally declared that minorities slogan India is ours. He inaugurated Bhimsena, a voluntary corps force, at Gulbarga in Karnataka state which later spread to all parts of India. V. T. Rajshekhar, an eminent Dalit scholar, writer and editor Dalit Voice credited him as father of Dalits movements in India. Early life and education. Shyam Sunder was born on December 21, 1908 in Aurangabad district, Maharashtra state, which was then part of the Nizam of Hyderabad's princely state. He completed his early schooling at Aurangabad. He was greatly moved by caste ill feelings and practice of untouchability. His agitated mind took him to Buddha's Ajanta caves to seek solace. When his family moved to Hyderabad, he enrolled in the Osmania University, graduating in political science, economics and went on to earn a law degree. He could speak Urdu, English, and Marathi. He was popular among the student community and he was elected Senate and syndicate member of the Osmania University. He entered active politics and joined the student wing of Depressed Classes Association. He was chosen as General Secretary and later became its president in 1947. Political career. He practiced law briefly and joined the Swadeshi movement under the leadership of SMT Sarojini Naidu and served as its General Secretary to Andhra Pradesh. He was elected the President of Literary Society of Hyderabad. He accepted the membership of Exhibition Society to Hyderabad. He was elected unopposed from graduate constituency to Hyderabad Legislative Assembly and later served as its deputy speaker. He was a part of the Nizam's delegation to UNO. Sri P.R. Venkatswamy, who authored Our Struggle for Emancipation, says the entry of Shyam Sunder is a red day in the history of depressed class movement and mentions he was fondly addressed as Guya Puschakholm, leader of depressed class. The Nizam of Hyderabad conferred Khosrow-e-Deccan, highest civilian award, on Shyam Sunder for his yeoman service. Rajshekhar VT editor Dalit Voice, an eminent Dalit writer, gives a graphic picture of Shyam Sunder and achievement of Bhimsena. Missions of life. Shyam Sunder was a social, political and ideological leader of the Mool Baratis during pre- and post-independence period. He was able to alleviate the conscience of his brethren by making them realize they are not untouchable but the Mool Baratis of India. They are born Buddhist and builders of Harappan civilization and heir apparent to rule this land. He strove hard to provide education facilities and fought for land reforms for his brethren. He spearheaded a movement to federate minorities and Bahuyans to fight for their legitimate constitutional rights. We are not Hindus, we are born Buddhist. Hinduism has a practice of untouchability, wherein certain people are untouchable. The father of nation, Sri Mahatma Gandhi, fondly said they are Harijan, meaning sons of God. The Constitution of India declared they are scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and human rights activists say they are Dalit. Shyam Sunder, from the beginning of his political career, bluntly refuted this, saying we are not Hindus, we have nothing to do with the Hindu caste system, yet we have been included among them by them and for them. And wisely said that caste system is to them by them and for them. Dalit Muslim Unity Movement. Change. Change swiftly, if you do not change now you will never change, said Shyam Sunder at the All India Depressed Classes Association conference on 30 May 31, 1941 at Parbhani in Aurangabad district held under his presidency. He laid the foundation for Dalit Muslim Unity Movement. It was decided in the conference that the untouchables should abandon all the traditional activities and get themselves freed from untouchability and caste system. He read 64 pages printed presidential address known as Kutbi Sattarat and asked his people to raise a banner of militant revolt against caste system and join hands with the Muslims. He was a fiery pro-Muslim leader. It turned out to be a social-cultural movement and has contributed to the sociology of development. He was the apostle of Dalit Muslim Unity Movement in India. Sheetal Markan's blog. It has contributed for political awareness between both communities. Indeed, it is a great document in the history of Untouchables movement. He in detail elucidated the history of Mool Baratis, Indus Valley Civilization, a Dravidian civilization, advent of Aryans in India, origin of caste system, our Mool Baratis are adherent of Hinduism, and Aryans, Brahmins, Usurpation of power from Mul Bharati's contribution to education. In 1932, His Highness the Nizam of Hyderabad set up the 1 crore Scheduled Caste Welfare Fund. Shyam Sunder was a trustee member for 3 years. To avoid caste ill-feeling among students, the trust opened madrasa-e-pusht-home schools, residential hostels, and to combat school dropout, it distributed monthly scholarships and even close to the students. This kind of education scheme was not found elsewhere in India. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar started the People's Educational Society at Aurangabad. Aforementioned trust gave 1.2 million rupees as a grant, and the Nizam of Hyderabad personally gave 200 acres of land to the society. With these donations, Milan College, the first PES institution at Aurangabad, was established. Shyam Sunder served as executive council member to the society from 1964-66. Land reforms. Shyam Sunder realized that land alone could bring a quantitative change in the lives of his brethren. P.R. Venkateswamy recalls that he organized a mammoth rally of landless peasants at Hyderabad. He demanded land reforms from Nizam's state government, asking his followers to encroach on government-held Gairan land and even surplus lands of landed gentry. Dalits occupying agricultural lands belonging to the government and privately held properties were first noticed in this part of India. He proposed many amendments to land reform bills in the Karnataka Assembly, and his contributions are hailed. But the feudal mentality were stumbling blocks for successful land reform. Thus, he went to the extent of demanding a Mul Bharati state Dalitastan address to the UN Security Council. He was part of the Nizam's delegation to the UN Security Council. He is the first post-independent untouchables leader who addressed the UN Security Council. He, as a sole representative of the 9 million depressed class people, formed a part of the delegation, took advantage of his presence among the representative of world nations. He gave the Security Council a clear picture of the embittered strife between groups and inhuman conditions of the suppressed masses of independent India. His comparison of the pathetic plight of the depressed classes of India to the segregation of Negroes in the United States created an indelible impression in the world diplomatic parlors. He was given a place of honor everywhere, as the true representative of 60 millions untouchables, unapproachable, unseeable and unshadowable people. The Indian government's Operation Polo, wherein the Nizam signed an accession treaty with government, occurred, and Shyam Sunder cut short his European tour and returned to India. He was kept under house arrest at his sister's house in Pune and later freed. He renewed his political activities and contested the first general election from Chanchalguda constituency from Hyderabad, which he lost. He was later elected to Mysore Legislative Assembly from Baki constituency and Bidar district. In 1962 he contested for an assembly seat from Ulan constituency in Gulbarga district, and Lok Sabha seat from Bidar district, but lost both elections. After the demise of Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, he became the president of Praja Socialist Party Minorities Movement, with the blessings of Sardar Master Tara Singh. On October 13, 1956, Shyam Sunder formed All India Federal Association of Minorities at Hyderabad. Shyam Sunder also wrote the pamphlet Federation is a Must for Indian Minorities. His demands for minorities included enforcement of their constitutional rights, preservation of culture, electoral reforms, and even nationalization of administration problems of Indian minorities. His main objectives were to undertake a nationwide educative campaign in favor of secularism, to ensure that minorities were not denied their constitutional rights, and a fair deal in recruitment for civil and military appointments and admissions to educational and technical institutions. Articles 29 and 30 of the Constitution of India, Part 3, were implemented in letters as well as in spirit so far as the minorities are concerned. He warned minorities that the alternative before the minorities is fettered or face a lingering death. National integration and problems of minorities. He specifically suggests safeguards such as effective representation of minorities in parliament and legislature, safety of their life and culture, and reiterates the reorganization of states. And further he says prejudice and discrimination against minorities hurts the country more than its victims. 4 immediate needs of 12 crore suppressed human beings in India. On January 26, 1968, a conference of All India Scheduled Caste Federation Conference was held at Nanda district in Maharashtra state under the presidency of Shyam Sunder. He thundered that the practice of apartheid is a racial one and untouchability is religious in nature. The ghetto apartheid has been in operation for 3,000 years in India. In spite of India's constitutional provisions for scheduled caste has made no differences in the practice of untouchability, and they are living in burning furnace. And conference also decided to coordinate all political parties. The federation put forth 4 demands: separate settlement, separate election for them, establishment of a separate university at Milan College in Aurangabad or Siddharth College at Bombay, and lastly, form an education trust funded by the Government of India. The conference also demanded that the Marthawada University should be named after B.R. Ambedkar. Bhimsena. He created Bhimsena, a voluntary corps force, on 29 April, 1968 in Gulbarga district in Karnataka on the 77th anniversary of the birth of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He gave Ambedkar's name to Bhimsena as a self-defense movement based on truth and non-violence. It repulsed the caste Hindus' atrocities on the untouchables. A militant force comprised about 200,000 Dalits. The movement was revolt against Hindu caste system. Shyam Sunder wished to create Dalitastan, a country for untouchables, and desired an alliance between the Dalits, the Muslims and the untouchables. For this reason, Bhimsena became popular. The Bhimsena movement was a caste struggle rather than a class struggle, to confront Hindus militarily. The main objectives of Bhimsena were threefold: 25% villages to be surrendered to them, a separate electorate, and separate elections and a separate university for them. Organization. Bhimsena should be organized on a district-wise basis. The flag of the Bhimsena will be blue. In the center there will be a white shining sun in which there will be likeness of the plough, the hammer and the arrow in red color representing peasants, workers and the trov. The plough also indicates that the scheduled castes are the principal producers of food, the hammer indicates that they are the power behind all industrial activities, while the arrow shows that it is they who once ruled India. Power's self-defense is our main object. Subsidiary activities like prepare for census and election work, the legal aid committee, adult education. Father of Bahuyan's movement. Shyam Sunder held a conference concerning scheduled caste, minorities, backward classes and other minorities convention at Lucknow district in Uttar Pradesh on 12 and October 13, 1968. Periyar V. Ramasamy, Dr. Faridi, Bantibha, and Anand Kausalyayan attended. In his presidential address he put forth several demands. He demanded remodeling of paramilitary forces, division of bigger states like Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Andhra and Bihar into 2 or more states. He advocated that minorities should be treated as corporate entities and be given autonomy to conduct their affairs. With one voice it declared the Akliyataun Kanara Hindustan Hamara. From the platform of this convention, held in Lucknow noted for its refined composite Hindustani culture. I call upon the oppressed minorities of the great land to wake up and unite. I warn them that if they do not, they would be annihilated one by one, group by group and section by section. And declare that united they constitute the majority and have the natural right to play an effective role in guiding the destination of the land of their birth. And I conclude by expressing on my own behalf and on behalf of this convention our profound devotion to our motherland Aliyata Kanara Hindustan Hamara. In fact, this movement at Lucknow was a precursor to the Bahuyan movement started by Sri Kanshiram. An appeal to UNO. He sought the UNO's intervention to form separate country for untouchables, and appealed for a plebiscite to elucidate the desires of members of the scheduled caste in regards to remaining in Hinduism, and similarly in his book They Burn. In his book They Burn he says the United Nations Organization and the Charter on Human Rights does provide some remedy for millions and millions of human beings, who are thus condemned to the inhuman and barbarous condition peculiar to the untouchables of India numbering 160 millions. Article 13, b, and 55, c, of the United Nations Charter deserve study by all champions of the exploited and the downtrodden. The possibility of invoking Article 36(2) of the Statute of the International Court of Justice needs to be studied by all friends of the oppressed. The Mool Bharati B. Shyam Sunder Memorial Society was formed after the death of Shyam Sunder. The society has published his books and assists research students in various universities. Books by B. Shyam Sunder. Mool Bharatis. They Burn, The 160 Million Untouchables of India. The 4 Immediate Needs of 12 Crores Suppresses Human Beings in India. Resolutions passed unanimously. Vedamikam for Mool Bharatis. Bhimsena Ki Shahadi Hai. Urdu. Problems of Scheduled Caste. Haryans and General Elections. Neo-Buddhist Claims as Scheduled Caste. The Plight of Scheduled Caste in India. Petition to Lok Sabha. National Integration and Problems of Indian Minorities. Danger ahead for minorities, let us unite and face them. Federation is a must for Indian minorities. Problems of Indian minorities. On Bahuyans. Presidential Address Uttar Pradesh Minorities and Backward Classes Convention, English, Urdu and Hindi. Kotibi-e Sadarat, Parbani Presidential Address in Urdu. Diksha, Hindi, Urdu and English. Buddhavatamka Manifesto, Hindi, Kannada and Urdu. Educational Conference at Hyderabad, Urdu. Zionist Plot to Dominate the World. Today's Muslims are tomorrow's Haryans. Interview to Meral Urdu Digest. On Hinduism, Buddhavatamka Manifesto, Hindi and Kannada. UDHR must be honored in India. The Menace of the Dragon.